about the ones that, like the ones that Bill wrote the citations for, and then we went back to all the citations?
Well, I don't know which ones.
They need to follow ordinance, but if we can't get this one passed, then they need to follow the ordinance we have now.
That we already have
Or if
in
they wait,
place.
then they'll have to follow the ordinance that we get.
This is what I'm talking about. There's an ordinance in place. There are at least 30 dumpsters that are not under this ordinance right here that we already have. That's what I'm talking about. They're not grandfathered in because they have nothing. So,
Now, if you have it in the back, do you have to have a screen on it?
if it's not visible, I don't think it has
You
to.
don't have to, right?
Right, it's not visible, but majority of the
But
stuff is.
I'm talking about the ones I know of are visible from residential area and other businesses that are very unsightly.
Right.
And these, I mean, I don't understand how it got by where all these are just sitting out in plain view. What are we doing wrong? That's what I'm asking.
Well, maybe we just need to enforce what we got.
Need what?
I think we need, yeah.
Hey, we tried. Let's pull it.
That's right.
Did what?
We wrote citations, and then we were told to pull the citations.
But the reason.
A lot of these places that have the dumpsters, I mean, they've had dumpsters for years.
Yeah.
Right, but they've fallen under the ordinance that we currently have, which is the three-sided metal.
When was that passed?
But Darryl, to answer your question, I think the reason we said pull back on those ordinances is because right now we're hopefully going to change that. And so, you know,
It just sent a strange signal to us, like, okay.
well, truth be, well, we had said when we first brought it up.
Who said pull them back? I don't remember voting on anything
I don't
about
know.
changing an ordinance.
I made one of the requests because, just on the 3 tickets that were there, because 3 tickets were written, and only 3 tickets. And you got 3 tickets on at least 30 dumpsters, everybody else is going, I'm not paying that unless this one, this one, this one, and this one. They start naming off people about why am I getting a ticket. Well, how do you explain that? Well, we're in the middle of hopefully a ordinance change to say, hey, well, we're looking for something different.
And we have an ordinance on the book.
On what?
We have an ordinance on the books. This ordinance is existing.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying, 3 tickets were written because it did not comply with that. How do you?
What about the other 25?
You start somewhere, that's where you
Well,
start.
to me, you don't start with writing 3 tickets and saying, I'll get the rest of them next month.
Did you tell them to pull the tickets then?
I requested it through Ronald.
Well, I think that's a council decision, not an individual council decision.
There were warnings.
Here,
There were warnings.
let me kind of tell you what the way we do the scope of things. Is that we, up on, a lot of the stuff has been there for years. I mean, I don't know how come it's there.
Right.
It is, okay? What we do is we wait for a complaint, because we've tried to go over the broadcast mowing thing. Well, that brings the council into, and that brings 100 people up here in an uproar. So we're not going to do that. When we get a complaint, we act on that complaint right then. And we don't, I mean, and so we had 3 complaints. We acted on those complaints. That was, you know, and we were going to start, okay, to make it fair for everybody else, we were going to start right down the line. Well, okay, here we go, guys.
Right. And also, in response to that, Bob, I've been on this council for 3 years, and this is just an act that's just getting started. So I actually made the request to Ronald that we start looking at ordinances around here. So, you know, if I'm making the effort to say, let's start looking at these ordinances, and I see a problem, then I'm going to request a change in that. If there's a problem, an issue, yeah. It's a council decision, but it's also a council decision to step up and everybody look at the.
I suggest you put it on an agenda item rather than just
Well,
make
not
an
everything.
arbitrary decision for the rest of us.
We're right, but not everything is put on the agenda. Some's got to get stepped up and done. You know, they have to start somewhere.
In defense of what Chris did, we have an ordinance in place that has not been enforced. There's a dumpster sitting in plain view in a residential area that is unsightly, not even mowed around it. And number one, they should.
Well, that's fine. If somebody puts in a complaint, like you said, or if you want to put in a complaint about it, put in a complaint about it. But don't have them go out there and do it, then tell them to pull it back because you're gonna change it.
Well-
That's,
It was causing a problem, it was a warning, it's not a ticket, a citation, it was a warning.
and put in a complaint and let him go through the process.
Well, then I suggest that the rest of the council members all get involved in this and start putting their efforts into it, let's get this problem fixed. You just can't be, a couple of people know some stuff.
Well, you made a unilateral decision for the council.
No, I did not. I made a request through
All
Ron
right, you made a request, pulling the request, pulling him, stopping him from
stop.
doing it.
to stop, that's correct. To
There's
stop.
something I don't think you should have done. Once you put it in motion, let it go.
No, it's creating a problem, though. There's a big difference.
Well, then we create the problem and we solve the problem, but,
That's what we're here tonight to do, through the council.